is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Parker, Colorado. I've caught up with Tracy Fagan, who is the owner and basically the founder of this company, Dating Survival Info. Let me ask you, Tracy, obviously this is a personal journey that started with you, that got you involved in this industry. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it started after I experienced 2 rounds of marriage, and at the time my pattern was date someone, marry him, divorce him, then date the next guy, marry him, divorce him. And then I decided, you know what, I've got to get off this crazy train. And so I did a lot of work on myself and through counseling and coaching, and I found this wonderful journey of finding out who I am and really falling in love with myself in such a way that it's helped me be a better package to offer someone else, and it's also allowed me to stay true to myself and not settle for someone less than Mr. Right.
Wonderful. And obviously you found out that there's a lot of people out there just like you needing the same thing. Why do you think something like this is more important today than maybe 10, 15 years ago?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is there's a lot of people that either wait a while to start dating, or they want to work on their career and they get really set into who they are, or the other people that they feel that there's a stigmatism. You've got to get married, you've got to make it work. And so you just jump into the marriage with the first person thinking, you know, everything that I want to have isn't out there, it doesn't exist. And I've learned the hard way that it's much easier to be single than it is to settle for somebody who's not Mr. Right.
Nice way of putting it. Let me ask you, obviously a lot of folks out there getting into the dating world, if you will. It's kind of a scary and exciting all at the same time, isn't that right?
Oh, that couldn't have been put more eloquently. Absolutely. One of the things that I've really learned in the dating world is every single date that I've been on, whether it's the first date or the 10th date, every single one, there's something to be thankful for. There's something to learn from the date, and hopefully I'm giving the same thing to the people that I'm dating.
Wonderful. Let me ask you out there, it's an electronic world anymore. How does online dating change the procedure and the protocol?
That's actually one of my favorite questions. Online dating, yes, it is actually the way most people are meeting these days, but you need to keep in mind it's just a tool. It's just a tool for 2 people to meet. And the reason why I say that is there's so many people that are scared to death to online date because you don't know who you're going to meet up with. Well, I have been set up at one point in time with a truly seasoned criminal, and the only time that's ever happened, it was actually through a friend of mine from high school.
Interesting. So quite honestly, someone like yourself who has some experience, obviously, with online dating sites, very important. How important is that profile and making sure what you put in that?
Actually, that's one of my favorite pastimes, is just to look at some of the dating profiles. It blows me away how many people will flat out lie on their dating profiles, have old pictures, have incorrect ages, say they love the outdoors when, in all honesty, they hate to go camping. And it's so important to be truly honest with who you are on your online dating profile, because there's no better way than to start a relationship being completely honest.
True. I would think the fact that obviously one of the things that really I see you liking is making sure people have fun in the process while they're going through it. But on the other hand, it's very important that you look out there and you understand that you want to keep yourself safe.
Absolutely. Safety is a huge, huge factor in dating. Both personal safety as well as if most people my age honestly have kids. And so it's about knowing different ways to absolutely stay safe in the dating world.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. Obviously, if somebody hasn't been in the dating world for some time, they're getting ready to jump back into that dreaded D word that maybe has them a little scared, but it really shouldn't. But let me ask you, that first date, obviously, is that something you can help them with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Basically help them with different ideas and thoughts and have some questions set up so that they don't have that awkward blank space that sits in a conversation sometimes. I even help my clients by going through mock dates so we can play out, this is maybe the scenario, what it could look like. Even throw some zingers in there so that they can learn and practice on reacting to something that they might not be quite ready to hear.
Love it. Speaking of not settling, how important is that must-have list?
The must-have is it. that's it. And I've got to say, there's sometimes where it's really difficult when there's somebody who's got almost everything. And it's so tough to say, you know what, you've got almost everything, but if you don't have everything on the must-have list, you don't have everything on the must-have list. It's better not to settle than to just wait for somebody who's 95% right.
A big difference between getting okay results and great results.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. If you take a look at the bottom of the screen there, you're going to see her website right there, and that is the datingsurvivalinfo.com. And if you go on there, you're going to see a lot of blogs and writings that she has done, and with quite a few years of experience, she's able to walk you through something that quite honestly you might be afraid of, but it should be fun. I mean, the name of the book is Gratitude, Giggles, and Grace. That is the book that you penned here just recently. Tell me a little bit about this.
This book actually came as an urging from one of my dear friends. She would always come to me when she was having kind of a rough day, and she'd be like, "Hey, Fagan, tell me one of your dating stories." And as I would share these dating stories with her, first she would get kind of a chuckle out of them, but then it would always turn into much more of a learning story and a self-growth. I mean, what I learned from that process or that experience, that date. And that's when she actually urged me to write the book. And so it's a humorous look at a lot of the situations I found myself in, and I'll be honest, it's got ups and downs. The dating world is not all giggles.
No, definitely not all giggles. It sounds like you've compiled some experience here in the book that's going to make people laugh, maybe laugh at themselves if things they're going through, but quite honestly probably make them cry as well.
Absolutely. You'll feel both sides of it, but the good part is if you can feel those feelings, that means that you're alive and you're actually out there and learning to be your authentic self, which is
wonderful. Couple of ways that folks can get involved with you is obviously go to the website. You've got some great blogs on there. You've got some tips on there for helping folks navigate in the dating world, if you will. Somebody wants to step it up a little bit and they want some actual coaching done by you. What is the process?
There is actually several areas on my website where you can contact me, and basically it's sending me an email, and I'll respond to any of the emails, and we'll go ahead and get you set up for some coaching sessions. And I do all my coaching over the phone, and one of the benefits I find to that is that it allows the person on the other end of the phone a lot more anonymity, even though, you know, I'm not a big, bad, mean, hairy person. There's something special about just being kind of in the privacy of your own space, talking to someone over the phone.
That is grow, giggle, and enjoy the dating process. I mean, obviously something that was a personal journey that brought you here, and quite honestly, you're having a lot of fun with it because it's something you have experienced, you understand with people, you can relate with them, what they're going through. Let me ask you, if someone out there afraid, they have not gotten into dating, they've been a little bit afraid to jump into those waters, what would you tell them?
I think the biggest thing is to really start on yourself, because it's really hard to sell a damaged package. And so start with finding ways to love yourself. And so start two things. First of all, your list of how you can take care of yourself. Some of the things you love to do, whether it's an afternoon sitting in a coffee shop reading, or taking a bubble bath, or, you know, go getting ice cream, going to a spa, going skiing for the day, playing a round of golf, some way to fill yourself up so that you're sitting in a better place personally. That's number one. And then number two is to actually write down that must-have list. And it's not something you have in your mind. It's not something you know when you find it. And actually, I have an e-workbook on my website that you can download that actually steps you through the process. But the analogy I use is like if you go to Walmart without a list, you end up walking out, wasting a lot of time, spending a lot of money on a bunch of stuff that you really don't need. But if you go into the store with a list, you know what you need, you find it, and you get out.
So we're talking about a concrete, tangible list, folks, not something that you just kind of pull down and hopefully this will help me. This is a real concrete tool that can help you throughout. I imagine in the dating world, it's just as important when you decide to move on with somebody as it is when you decide to, let's stop this.
Absolutely. And, you know, breaking up is actually still difficult, even if you know that it's not the right one. It's very important that as soon as you know that, to end it. For both you and for them. It's actually giving both of you a lot of respect to do that.
Wonderful. Folks, you've got it all right there. That is Gratitude, Giggles, and Grace, as written by Tracy Fagan. And basically, if you're out there in the world getting ready to go into the dating world for whatever reasons, like she says, you want to start out with yourself first, build that base up, get that package put together, something that you love and enjoy, and someone else will love it and enjoy it as well, and also respect it as well. Tracy, it's been a pleasure for you meeting us today, and I hope some of the folks take a look at the phone number on the bottom of the screen right there. That is her contact information and her email. Get a hold of her, and she will walk you through the process, and hopefully you will understand that you can have a little fun on this dating process. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.